Okay, folks, we are back again. Full disclosure, my lovely wife here did not watch all of this movie, but you saw enough of this movie to give a fair
It's
assessment
hurting my eyes.
and give your official review. As always, I've taken the notes to go over the background and bullet points. We are going to be reviewing compliments of the Stanislaus County Public Library System, The Patriot, the year 2000. This movie stars Mel Gibson and Heath Ledger, to name a few, and it has one of the best villains I have seen in a motion picture in a long time. This movie is directed by a German director named Roland Emmerich, and it has a nearly 3-hour runtime, 2 hours and 45 minutes. So a little technical aspects of this movie, and you'll maybe be enlightened too by this. The director is Emmerich, as the Roland Emmerich guy. He's a German-American director. He is mostly known for his sci-fi and disaster films. Two of his most notable films that he directed in a similar time period is Independence Day, Will Smith, and your beloved Bill Pullman from While You Were Sleeping. And he also directed The Day After Tomorrow. Okay, here's another thing. The cinematography in this movie is awesome.
That's true.
And the cinematographer, he is quite accomplished. His name is Caleb Deschanel.
Deschanel?
We'll get to that.
Any relation
to
Zoe Deschanel? He is the father
of Zoe Deschanel.
Oh.
In 1979, he directed Peter Sellers' final film called Being There, which many consider a modern classic. And also in 1979, Mickey Rooney, The Black Stallion, he did the cinematography for that film. So that is the cinematographer. Another part of it, the screenplay was written by this guy, Rodat is his last name. He was nominated for Best Original Screenplay for writing the screenplay for a movie that came out 2 years prior, 1998's Saving Private Ryan. So he was nominated for Best Original Screenplay for that movie. Saving Private Ryan was robbed at the Oscars in 1999, and I believe the Oscar went to Shakespeare in Love, which who remembers that movie? Also, this guy is known for writing other epic historical drama films, like I mentioned, Saving Private Ryan. I did not write another film that he wrote down. Dang it! Okay, another note. Excellent musical score. Frequent Steven Spielberg collaborator John Williams did the soundtrack for this movie.
Oh, of course.
So, okay, here's some tidbits. One of the most expensive casting ever. Mel Gibson had to be paid $25 million to star in this movie.
Oh my goodness.
Originally, they had cast Harrison Ford, and he was going to be the Benjamin Martin character, but then he read the script and he felt that it was way too violent, and he didn't want to be in a movie that had that much violence. This movie is considered very controversial in the UK. It is universally hated, and in the press it was panned for its anti-British portrayal and sentiment. Interestingly enough, you will note that there was a phrase, the sun never sets on it rises and never sets on the British Empire, as they would go into other lands colonially and take over. If you know me and you've watched the channel for a long time, you'll know that during the pandemic, I got super into the sci-fi series Outlander, both in book and TV. And there is also...
He was in bed reading Outlander every single night. For hours and hours.
So that movie takes place in the same time period. It takes place in the 18th century, starting off in Scotland. And you see the British Redcoats' horrible treatment of a local population for the crown and country. So I don't know. Was it really an exaggeration? There was some parts of this movie that were totally fictional. The Benjamin Martin character was based off of this real-life guy called the Swamp Rat, who was kind of a backwoods country guy that fought militia style against the Redcoats during the Revolutionary War. They said that a lot of the characters in this movie were composite sketches of real life people from the time. So it wasn't just one specific person. Ultra violent. You see people's legs getting blown off by cannons, bayoneted, shot with muskets. It's a pretty, it's definitely rated R. Your beloved Heath Ledger is in this movie. This movie is rough. It is very sad, but if you're into the vigilante genre, like Death Wish with Charles Bronson, or any vigilante movies like Taxi Driver, where people are seeking blood vengeance for bad situations that have happened to them or people they loved, this movie is for you.
Remember when I bought you Taxi Driver for Easter when we were dating?
Yes, 2011.
It's not really an Easter film.
One of my favorite movies, the vigilante film. And I think this is why this movie appeals to me. It's very polarizing. This movie has a 62% Rotten Tomato critic average. Audience score is much higher, 81%, with 250,000 people reporting in. IMDb, 7.2 out of 10. And I am just going to get my rating out of the way, and then I'll let you talk about it and go talk about the plot and whatnot. I am going to say this is a huge shout out to my cousin Eric, who recommended that I watch this movie and review it. He said it was one of his favorites. Rare 5 out of 5. I don't give them out often because if I don't want to seem like I'm just giving easy A's, as it were. So let's
Easy A, which is a movie with Emma Stone.
It is.
That I don't really remember. I think I saw it.
Oh, side note, this movie had a $110 million budget and it went on to gross $215 million at the box office. So it was somewhat successful at the box office. It's very long, almost 3 hours long. The way they capture light in the cinematography is my favorite. It was also filmed on location throughout South Carolina and in real life plantations preserved down in Georgia. To kind of showcase the time. A lot of people that it didn't, they felt that it was kind of showing a white savior, and it didn't kind of talk about slavery or the ill treatment of blacks enough, which I don't know. I think it's more focusing on the vigilante aspect. There's obviously slavery depicted in this movie. They don't necessarily cast it in a negative light because of his, like, for example, his sister had slaves, and they just kind of treated them like they were family members in the movie. So I guess if you look at it that way, it didn't perhaps cast a negative enough light for the modern contemporary audience on their depiction of slavery. So maybe that's what a lot of people had a problem. And then also they didn't like the fact that, like I mentioned, that they cast these British people kind of like Nazis, just committing these atrocities, which actually they had taken real life Nazi World War II scenarios for SS guys committing atrocities in occupied France, and they had kind of amalgamated that into a lot of the sequences of the British Army. So let's have my wife now dig into, as she always does. She kind of highlights and showcases.
And now one of my children is awake, so guess what? I don't get to say anything now. Basically,
say what you're gonna say.
He's here, and he's gonna be upset probably. So
it's okay, dude.
That's it.
What did you like about the movie?
Watched half the movie. It was good.
What's your rating?
Enjoyable.
What's your rating? Give me the number.
That was fun.
Give me the number.
I'm 5 out of 5 on what I saw, but I didn't watch the whole
It's a classic
film, so came in halfway. He tried to convince me to watch it because it's Mel Gibson and Heath Ledger, and I just wasn't sure because, you know, it's a lot of violence and it's a war movie.
Yeah, not a movie that you would normally watch or pick out.
Usually my best movie that I want to watch, but or my first choice, but then once you get kind of sucked into the whole storyline, of course you want to see what's going to happen, and it is kind of a vengeance film because the main character, you know, I'm not going to spoil the movie for those people that haven't seen it, but you know, a couple of bad things happen, and there's a very evil villain that you really want to see.
Wouldn't you say he's one of the best villains you've seen in a while?
Just desserts. Yeah, he's a pretty bad dude. Zachary just woke up from a late nap.
Fun fact:
not too happy.
The Heath Ledger character, one of the runner-ups was Elijah Woods. So
Heath Ledger seems like a much better person for the role to be cast for that. And I can't really see Harrison Ford
Yeah.
being
This
the
was
main
a-
guy,
this was a-
Benjamin, either. I don't know. I mean, once you see a certain actor in a role, sometimes it's hard to imagine another actor doing that. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I always think of Harrison Ford as just, he's in Star Wars.
Indiana
So.
Jones.
Yeah, and Star Wars. But anyways, it was very good. I would like to one day go back and watch the first half of the movie, but since I have a lot of kids, I don't know when that will happen, because it's definitely a movie that you need to watch when your kids are not around. So we had to send Zachary out of the room because it was way too scary for children.
Definitely. Very worthy of its
anyways.
R rating. Thanks for watching, folks. I'm sorry.
Give it a watch.
I'm sorry you didn't get more commentary time. We'll see you next time.
I forgot what I was even going to say. That's what happens when you're a mom. But give it a watch if you haven't. I feel like it's worth a watch.
There you go, folks.
Have a good night.
See ya.